Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing great. I am. I'm going to start reading. We're on chapter 3, page 35 on the Circle of Life book from Masaji, and this chapter is called Breath. In the Far East, the mind is considered the masculine quality of the chi as it influences the material world. It serves as a focusing mechanism to channel the chi throughout your body into things that you want to do and accomplish, and also in a healing capacity both face to face and at long distances. The breath is the feminine quality of the chi as it influences the world. If you were using the Judeo-Christian texts, the breath would be the omega and the mind would be the alpha, end and beginning, beginning and end, two sides of the same whole. There was a great Hatha yoga master around the 4th to 5th century by the name of Gorknath. Gorknath mastered the mind and mastered the breath. He told people that it was so profound to master the mind and master the breath that any human being who could actually do that could live in the physical body forever. Gorknath was renowned for his relationship to nature and animals, not unlike St. Francis of Assisi. It is reported that after teaching for well over 100 years, on a particular day, after giving a major discourse among his followers, he climbed on the back of a wild Bengal tiger and disappeared into the forest. Most of his disciples never saw him again, but occasionally a very enlightened yogi or sadhu, a name for a wandering monk, but occasionally a very few enlightened yogi or sadhu, a name for a wandering monk, would see Garknath. He was spotted in the 7th, in the 8th, and also in the 9th century. As incredible as that might sound, there have been many reports, and even sitting governments have validated many individuals who demonstrated extraordinary health and longevity. This evidence exists in cultures that date all the way back to the origins of modern-day religions, roughly the past 2,000 to 7,000 years. There was a man who wrote a book about a Taoist master in China who was documented to have lived over 250 years just at the turn of the 19th century. His name was Li Qingyun. His story is retold in a book called Taoist Health Exercise Book by De Lu. Li Qing had somewhere between 12 to 14 different professions in his lifetime. Oh no, I can't imagine that. I want to live long, but I don't have to work the whole time. I did one 30-year career. Yeah, I don't want to have to do that again. Oh gosh, that's funny. No one would want to live long after that. Okay, he had 12 to 14 different professions in his lifetime. He married over a dozen times. Oh, yeah, that's another pros and cons to a dozen marriages. And was reported to have had over 200 descendants. Again, yeah, pros and cons. The Chinese government was so intrigued by his health and longevity, they were so convinced that he was who he claimed, that they came into his house one day and began to dig up his garden and search through all of his belongings and examine his herbs to try to learn what he was doing. Following this incident, some people say that he disappeared, others claim that he actually died. There was a modern-day saint by the name of Saint Tapasvigi Maharaj. His life is recorded in the book Maharaj by T.S. Anatha Murthy. He was a great yoga master. He actually had photographs taken of him at 150 and 165 years old. He literally passed on at 189. Tabasvigi was a great warrior in his early life, and an uncle led him into the sadhu path or wandering yogi path in his late 50s, and from there he began his spiritual practices. One of the interesting things about Sri Tapasvigi is that he didn't die of so-called old age. He really died of a broken heart. Oh yeah, I can see that. A lot of Indians believe in reincarnation. Apparently, his son was reincarnated as his disciple, and when the soul was returned as his disciple also died, Sri Tapasvigi was overcome with grief. Yeah, I can see that. I would be overcome with grief if one of my sons passed away. Essentially, Tapasvigi gave up on his life, sat down in samadhi, and left his body. Even though he had regenerated his physical body several times over by the age of 189 when he passed on. One beautiful thing about living in our present age is that much of this kind of information is readily available online. You can go to the internet and search for yoga masters, yoga saints, or Tai Chi Gong masters, and you'll find many, many miraculous examples of women and men who have demonstrated phenomenal powers throughout and breath mastery. I'm sorry, phenomenal powers of thought and breath, the mind and the breath. Many people are not aware that Paramahansa Yogananda, who wrote autobiography of a yogi, left his body consciously in 1952, and that for more than 50 years his body has been displayed within a glass case in California in a state of complete incorruptibility. That is to say, his body shows absolutely no signs of decay. As unusual and perhaps unbelievable as that may sound, examples of saints who have left incorruptible bodies behind appear in many different sects throughout history, including Christian and Hindu saints. One of the most remarkable examples is that of the body of Saint Clare of Assisi. She was a spiritual cohort of Saint Francis, and anyone interested can go today to visit and observe her body in a state of complete preservation since the 13th century. Saint Clare represents a case where the spirit left the body over 600 years ago and the body still shows no signs of decay. So is the way of spirit and the spiritual power that these great human beings learned. And my question is, why don't we know about this? Why don't we? This should be normal information that everybody on the planet has. Every religion should acknowledge that this happens. Schools, might talk about it and teach it. Families, could discuss it in their homes. So the fact that I've never heard of this, or you might have never heard of this, is sad when this is a reality and it's a truth. So that's what frustrates me. That's what has been frustrating me my whole life, is that true information is not shared. Now, it might be available now online, but people don't know to Google it unless you hear it, like, through something like this. So if it's not a topic of discussion, excuse me, then people aren't going to know about it. So very interesting. That's always my question. So it's not like the truth is buried, but we're distracted by other things that keep us busy, and we're not learning how to manage or control our mind and our breath and our heart. So it's very cool. I'm glad we're learning it now. Never too late. I'm 55, so there's hope. One of the basic elements of this power comes when those on a spiritual path learn to master what they call in India the pranayama of the breath. Prana means energy, and it also refers to what the energy does to the human temple. In the Judeo-Christian book in the Old Testament in Genesis, it says that God breathed into man the breath of life. If you are in India and China and Tibet, and you're investigating some of the disciplines and the spiritual arts of the Far East, it doesn't take very long to understand that breath plays an important part of their practices. In the East, they believe that a being is human based on their ability to breathe. Oh, wow. There was a breath study done about 15 to 18 years ago, reported in a health journal, that brought the importance of breathing to the forefront of health at that time. A random study of people 50 years and older was done to test their breathing capacity. It was discovered that the average 50-year-old was breathing at 48 to 58% of their capacity. It was also determined that people needed 75 to 78% breathing efficiency to properly digest their food. Oh no. So if we're breathing around 50% and we need 75 to properly digest their food, that's one big problem right there. Huge, huge problem. And the slow digestion or poor digestion and all the issues that come with that. And oh my gosh, that just explains a lot. Right there in that one sentence explains so much. And we don't know about that. A follow-up study revealed that obesity in older adults was in direct proportion to the breathing efficiency. Yes, I understand that, because when I was heavy, it was hard to breathe. And when I was heavier, when I weighed more, and I would carry just a few bags of groceries, from the car to the house or upstairs to, an apartment or something like that, I could barely breathe. And I remember thinking, I'm at this weight, and I'm I have maybe extra 10 or 20 pounds in my hands on me. So I would literally think to myself, I cannot imagine being heavier, because I wouldn't be able to breathe. I wouldn't be able to go up the stairs. I wouldn't be able to function. So, because it's just so hard on your lungs and your whole body. And then the oxygen levels are off, and then your muscles fatigue. That's why people are tired and they can't do anything, because their muscles are fatigued. So, this is interesting. I'm glad we're addressing it. The less a person was breathing, the more obese they became. God. So if we just breathed correctly, we might not gain weight. Or if we learned how to breathe right, we could lose weight. That's what I'm hearing and getting out of that. So I don't know. The researchers felt at that time that they had identified one of the leading causes of obesity in older people in Western culture, just not breathing right. On a biological level, one of the most significant things that happens when you breathe is that you begin to alkaline the bloodstream in the body. Okay, that makes sense, because we're looking for water now with alkaline, right? We don't want to drink water that is acidic, because that causes disease and cancer. So we know that is in discussion. That's around, that comes up. You can go to the store, you can see the waters that have alkaline in it. So that is something that we know. That's very good. But this is emphasizing that when you breathe correctly, so it's good to drink water that is properly alkalined, but just the breathing helps you alkaline your blood. So that's wonderful. We know that the cells in the body need an alkaline leaning pH balance in order to remain healthy. The alkaline bloodstream keeps people in a better defensive posture when it comes to immune function. Very good. So that wards off infections and diseases as well. So the breathing helps the immune function. Their bodies remain in health mode, a state that is very much like a healthy child. This blood pH balance, acid-alkaline relationship, is important in the aging process. Okay, it's all linked to aging. One of the things cutting-edge biochemistry has demonstrated is that the aging process is accelerated when the bloodstream tips to and remains in an acidic state. As we explore Tai Chi Kung nutrition, we'll discuss this concept in greater detail, but it is important to mention it here because the Tai Chi Kung masters knew that when any person learns to breathe correctly, they can help keep the bloodstream in a balanced state, control the level of acidity in the bloodstream, and thereby slow the aging process. Yes, this is cool. We're on to something. Related to this discussion is an important breakthrough in the fight against cancer. What we have learned talking to herb specialists, holistic or integrative medical practitioners, and especially with medical doctors with a pathogenic focus that are also open to integrated medicine, every physical body on the planet has a certain number of cancerous cells in it. I'm going to read that because I just chopped all those names up. Okay. Related to this discussion is an important breakthrough in the fight against cancer. What we have learned talking to herb specialists, holistic or integrative medical practitioners, and especially with medical doctors with a pathogenic focus that are also open to integrated medicine, every physical body on the planet has a certain number of cancerous cells in it. However, it has been found that in order for those cancerous cells to mutate into an abnormal tumor growth, those cells need an acidic condition in the body to do so. They apparently cannot mutate when the blood remains in an alkaline leaning, pH balanced state. As you learn to breathe better and breathe more efficiently, you can offset the acidity in the bloodstream and achieve that balance. Okay, what we just read today is huge, huge, huge. What we read today is important. Everyone should know this. Everyone should share this. Everyone should start breathing deeper and better and longer and properly. I'm not saying that people should meditate, but if your meditation consists of concentrating on your breathing and promoting proper breathing, then you would want to meditate. If an exercise that doesn't hurt you, that that doesn't, like, I'm not going to go run. I've never liked to run. Even when I was in my prime, I was healthy, I was young, I did not enjoy running. I didn't like running. In fact, I hated running. I tried it. I tried track. I could play softball all day. I could play volleyball all day. I could play football, for hours at church with friends. But just to tell me to go run, no. I tried it so many times and it hurt me with my flat feet and the tendons in my legs. I didn't enjoy it. So I'm not telling anybody to go to a treadmill or run, go run a mile or 10 miles or whatever. We're just talking about this Tai Chi movement. This is exercise. This is low to zero, no impact. And we've even already demonstrated where you can do it in a chair, sitting down. So these movements that we're learning with this 45-day challenge is concentrating and helping us breathe. Meditation can help you concentrate and learn how to breathe better. Breathing is life. There's other stuff to it, and we're going to get to it, the nutrition and everything, and the exercise and the movement. But breathing is key. And that's why Rasaji said breathing is most important in Tai Chi. So we're moving, and we're learning how to ease and calm our mind. But the breathing, the breath is so important. So, of course, you can meditate by yourself to just concentrate on your breathing. I showed you did that the other day. And it was yesterday or the day before. And while we're doing the Tai Chi exercises, the warm up and the first 4 standing exercises and the sitting exercises, where he reminds us to breathe properly. And but there are YouTube videos online, guided meditations to concentrate on breathing. I haven't Googled guided meditations that would promote pH balance, but it's probably there. There's probably there's so much online. We're already 18 minutes into this, so we're not going to read anymore. But I'm just gonna Google. People call me Google Queen. So guided meditation to promote breathing. Ocean waves, guided breathing, guided meditation, breathing practice, 10 minutes. Okay, they're there. That's all you got to do. They just came right up. Breathing practice, 10 minutes. Let's see what happens. I won't be able to play this because it'll mess up the...
Welcome. We are going to practice some breathing exercises to help prepare.
Awesome. It's easy. It's that easy. So, since we don't know how to breathe properly, we haven't been told, we haven't been taught, I'm not going to be angry about it, but I'm going to do something about it. So, you can do guided meditations on breathing. Oops, sorry.
Our nervous system and our brain.
So, oh my lordy, thank you, lady. I don't need you anymore. And I'm also going to put in guided meditations to promote alkaline alkaline pH levels. I have no idea if this is a thing. I've never Googled that before. 6 ancient remedies taught to keep pH levels in balance. It's, yeah, okay. Meditation, yoga, breathing techniques, Nadi Sadhana, balance your pH for better health. The Chopra, yeah, Deepak Chopra has something there. Breathing techniques increases pH levels and decrease sensitivity to, okay, so 1 minute is 1 minute and 34 seconds.
What's interesting to me is that there's the pain receptor, the acid sensing receptor that.
Okay, somebody's just talking about it. We want Save Your Life with the Power of pH Balance is a book on Amazon. How to increase alkalinity and does alkalinity reduce inflammation? Yeah. There's no videos. There's no YouTube videos. So hey, guess what? I might make a YouTube video just for meditation to increase pH balance in your body. But it's just breathing. I mean, it's just breathing. But in case somebody was Googling it, you know, people would maybe hit on it. So cool. Sweet. There's lots of books. The alkaline, yeah, we know alkaline food, water is very important. We've heard that. So awesome. I'm so happy that we're reading this book together. It is wonderful. So if you know anyone with cancer, if you know anyone with an immune deficient issue, or you know, or a disease, if you know anyone that is overweight or obese, if you know anyone that is sick or that takes medicine for anything at all, it would help you and them to learn how to breathe. And that's it. You can give them a breath of life by teaching them how to breathe. So we're going to do a few breaths now together. And you do how you want. I breathe really slow when I can. When I was a child, I remember laying in bed and we had those big clocks that would, like, you know, it was bright, and they had the flip. It was like it wasn't digital, so it was like a flip. So it would, like, I don't know, it would flip the next minute. And so I would lay there and I would wait for the thing to to flip. I would just breathe, normal, and just relax normal. But I would just lay there, I guess awake and not being able to go to sleep and trying to put myself to sleep, ways of, relaxing. So the little thing would flip the next minute. So I would start breathing super, super slow. And I would mentally, try to lower my heart rate. Oh, so I would count. Like I would watch the minute, I would hold my wrist here, not with your thumb, because your thumb has a pulse in it really strong. And so the first 4 fingers you just put here on your wrist and you can take your pulse. So I'd wait for the thing to flip, and then I'd count my pulse. Right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going kind of fast. So I would get my regular, normal, without trying to do anything, pulse. And I was resting. I'd been in bed already in a few minutes, or maybe just hopping in bed, so maybe it was a little fast. So I just lay there and I would get my pulse for a minute. And then I would just relax. I would just try to breathe super slow and deep. And I would tell my heart to slow down. I would imagine my heart rate going down. And no one taught me to do this. I just did it myself. It's so weird to even think that I just did weird stuff when I was a kid. And no one knew I was doing it. I don't know. I might have told a couple people, and I was probably dismissed, like, why would you do that? That's weird. Okay, like Lavon, weirdo Lavon, she's doing something weird. So I was trying to control my heart rate. And I didn't know if I could do it or not. The internet wasn't available, so you couldn't find stuff on the internet. That wasn't stuff at the library. I didn't read research papers. I came up with this on my own. So that's why it's just so cool. I've led a different life. My whole life. So then I would just, relax for a minute. And if I didn't feel like it was low enough, and then the thing clicked to the next minute, I would just, again, keep going. So I think my regular heart rate would be in the 60s or 70s when I just would first start this. And then, so after I relaxed and I slowed my breathing down, and I was mentally trying to slow my heart rate down, it would go to like in the 40s, 50s for sure. I think I don't know, I don't want to lie, but I want to say maybe I almost got it to, it was like a low 40s. But I was like trying to super, maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's, I don't want to lie. But I know I could get it in the 50s easy, just, resting. But I want 40s. I think I got it in the 40s. Super slow heart rate. And I would watch the clock, and then I would take it again. And then usually I just did that because that's what you want. And I'd go to sleep. But sometimes I would try to let me see if how high I can get it without moving. Without moving my body. You can run around and get your heart rate up, but let me, like, just laying here, let me see if I can get my heart rate up. So I would start breathing, heavy in and out, and I think about something scary. I think about like running, which is scary. And I would just, and then I'd take my pulse the next time the clock clicked over, and it would be like in the 90s or the hundreds. Like, yeah, just laying there, I would manipulate my heart rate. So I know that's weird. How many kids do that? So I've been messing around with heart rate, breathing for a while. So now that we're getting proper information, we really, really need to learn how to control our breath in a positive way and manage our breathing, because our life depends upon it. And if you share this with others, if you hate someone and you don't want them to live long, and you don't want them to be healthy, then don't share it. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Tell them to breathe fast. Tell them to drink acidic water and acidic foods. I'm just kidding. That's horrible. I'm just saying this is how powerful our body is. So if you love people, if you love yourself, and you want to share this gift of life, please share with your friends and family and even your enemies how they can learn how to breathe and concentrate on breathing and consuming high pH water and foods, which we'll get to later. And they can be healthier, feel better, lose weight, live longer. Boom. There you go. Today's gift on a Friday. Okay, let's breathe. I remember when I was, I think it was around 2007, maybe probably 2008. I'll have to find it. I've seen it recently. I bought something online through the mail. It was called Oxysize, and it was this skinny, cute little old lady. She would just like, I think she like wore like just bodysuits and libtards and everything. She's like no fat. And she showed different exercises and breathing techniques, and it was called, Oxysize, oxygenate your brain, which that has a lot of benefits. And so, if we're only breathing at 50%, it was, today it was talking about our pH balance, but that's affecting our brain and the way it functions. It was talking about the cells, but it didn't, directly the brain needs oxygen. So there were just, and she would like take a deep breath in, but then she's like, more, one more time. She wouldn't just let you breathe in and out. And then when you breathed out, she would like blow it out more and out. So I remember that. So sometimes I do that. So I'm going to do it once if I try it. Okay. Breathe in, and I'm going to keep breathing in. I'm not going to stop. So it'll be weird. not used to it, so our lungs are like, what are you doing? So yeah, Oxysize, you can look that up. I don't know if they're available. Oh my gosh, we're at 30 minutes. I love you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Thank you for watching.